Hello. This airing of Face to Face with the Spotlight is in conjunction with the Spotlight newspaper, a beacon of news for the Southeast region of Saline County. The Spotlight distributes on the third Thursday of each month for free. Sign up for a digital copy on the Spotlight Facebook page. The Spotlight thanks the Lindsborg Community Hospital, who is preparing to meet the needs of the community it serves. And according to Administrator Larry Vanderwig, the Southeast region of Saline County is included in that community. Currently, the clinic providers are scheduling appointments through telemedicine. The Lindsborg Community Hospital is a subsidiary of the Salina Regional Health Center and has prepared for the potential surge of patients experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. Currently, no visitors are allowed in the hospital with patients except for with minors and individuals with disabilities. Tri-Valley Seed is also thanked by the Spotlight. It is owned and operated in Gypsum by Justin Knopf with Garrett Kennedy, and they support the relationships it takes to sustain community. Tri-Valley Seed offers Pioneer brand seed product, and when they say with you from the word go, that includes being with you when issues arise that are important to the community. Additional businesses worthy of appreciation include Ad Astra Books and Coffee House, the Citizen State Bank and Trust Company, Nelson Green Line, Hobbs Creek Veterinary Services, the Saline County Farm Bureau, All American Sales, the Appliance Center, and K4 Garage, all businesses and organizations with roots in the Southeast region of Saline County. My name is Leslie Manning, publisher and owner of the Spotlight newspaper, and I'm excited to introduce to you our guest today, Dakota Nichols, branch president at the Gypsum branch of the Citizen State Bank and Trust Company, offering a variety of loan services, and Bill Mahanay, the vice president of First Bank Kansas, who focuses on agriculture and commercial lending. Hi, guys.
Hello, Leslie.
How's it going, Leslie?
Thank you for being on today's show. I really appreciate it. We're going to run things just a little different today. And what I want to do is, with each question, I feel like you're both an expert in. And so as we get a better understanding of the finance industry, I would love to hear your response to each of the questions that I think people are wondering. So thank you for your time. And the first question I have for both of you, and we can start with Dakota, is what are your responsibilities in your position in the finance industry?
We're a small town bank, so we're always trying to provide services for everyone. We're an ag bank, so obviously agriculture is a large part of what I do, ag loans and commercial loans. But I also do, a lot of consumer loans, residential loans, stuff like that, and we provide, as a whole bank, we provide stuff like, online banking, mobile banking, all this stuff that, the big banks have, we have it, in our small town and can provide those things to our customers. And we take pride in the fact that, we can compete with the big banks and the stuff that we offer our customers, and not only that, but a lot of the big banks, they can't, they don't remember their customers by name, that's something we pride ourselves in as well as, serving Gypsum, rural Gypsum area, there's no reason why we can't have a personal relationship with each and every one of our customers. So.
Okay. Thank you, Dakota. And Bill, if you would tell us your responsibilities with First Bank Kansas. I asked you, First Bank has always been a part of a Assyria community, and even when First Bank no longer had a building in Assyria, a lot of Assyria folks still bank with you. So share with us your responsibilities at First Bank Kansas.
Well, much like Dakota said, we're a community bank. We pride ourselves on providing exceptional customer service and exceptional customer experience. So we're here to serve the customers. My focus is primarily on agricultural lending and commercial lending. So anything that our customer needs, we do our darndest to deliver. Right now, it's exceptionally challenging times with the SBA PPP program, loan program, the Paycheck Protection Program, farm challenges, farm profitability challenges. So we're working every day to help our customers.
Okay, well then, Bill, I'll ask you the next question. You can keep on going, because you kind of segue into this, what are the recent changes that you've seen in the banking and loan industry that you have been working with customers on?
Okay, of course, the COVID-19 has made significant changes for most, if not all, community banks. We're working with our lobby closed, so it's changed our ability and the methods that we use to communicate and assist customers. We're also expending tremendous resources on the SBA's Paycheck Protection Program, which is certainly a good program for those who qualify. So it's just, we had a full-time job a month ago, and now we have 2 full-time jobs delivering the SBA program to those who need it and trying to help our customers through these difficult times.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bill. And so Dakota, we'd kind of talked earlier that Citizen State Bank and Trust is also working with the SBA program. What changes have you seen in the banking and loan industry, and what's the Gypsum Bank doing to be a part of that solution?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to piggyback on what Bill said, I mean, we're doing a lot of the same thing. We've been taking in a lot of applications for the PP program, the Paycheck Protection Program. You know, it's a great program. The funds run out, you know, relatively quickly. You know, from the first phase, they ran out quickly, and then the second phase got approved. So, you know, I've been telling everybody get them in as soon as possible. You know, so those funds can, you know, they can get their application in, and that way they can get the funds if so allocated. But yeah, we're closed. Our lobby's closed as well, so we're doing a lot of things. You know, by appointment. You know, using our drive-through window quite a bit. You know, telling people, you know, use the ATM, you know, as much as possible. You know, just you know, taking precautionary measures to make sure everyone is safe, including, you know, customers and staff. But yeah, no, it's definitely a different time for sure, and you just have to think of different ways to accommodate your customers in a time like this, you know.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you saying is that when people are applying for this loan and turning their applications in, they can come into the lobby on if they schedule, or if they schedule an appointment, or can you get that application through the drive-through? And this question probably applies to both banks. You know, how does a person get that application from you? And then do they get to have a conversation one-on-one with you? Dakota, I'll let you start that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So basically, I kind of put the ball in you know, our customers' court. I tell them, you know, they can come in by appointment. You know, they can meet with me. I can go over the stuff. I've been going over a lot of it on the phone. I just have the customer pull the application up on their computer. It's on my computer, and I just walk them through it step for step. And then, you know, they can, you know, send it over to me via email, or I've had several just drop it off in the drive-through. You know what I mean? And then I start processing the request and stuff, and doing the lender app and stuff. But yeah, just whatever their comfort level is, you know, if they want to come in to meet by appointment, I can do that. If they want to do it over the phone through the drive-through, just whatever it is that they're comfortable with, you know, I'm willing to do, you know.
Okay. And Bill, have you seen some changes in that one-on-one interaction when it comes to applying for loans?
Well, certainly, we're doing much the same as Dakota. We do take appointments and see customers that wish to come in and see us face to face. We do take precautionary measures and respect the social distancing rules to the extent that we can. We also accept applications electronically through the drive-through. Lots of email time and phone time and just whatever we can do to help customers through this process. And it's not a difficult application to complete. Right. It's a fairly simple, straightforward form. And from there, it's just providing the supporting documents and getting it processed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, real quick, I know that the spotlight is supported by small businesses throughout the southeast region of Saline County, and I want to share quickly about Waddles Heating and Cooling. We thank them for being a sponsor of communication in the southeast region of Saline County. Waddles Heating and Cooling in Salina is the local Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Waddles Heating and Cooling has met all the requirements specified by Carrier regarding customer satisfaction, professionalism, ability to honor warranties, and have the appropriate licenses and liability coverage to serve you. Waddles Heating and Cooling, a business conducted by Charlie and Elaine Waddle and their son Bruce, residents of rural Kip, as well as many other committed employees, make customer service their top priority. So we have been talking about the SBA loans, and you mentioned that the application is not difficult, but you also mentioned that there are some supporting documents required. So can we get into some details? How do these government small business loan programs work? Bill, I'll let you begin.
Well, sure. And the supporting documents depend on the type of business. For a farmer, for example, the primary supporting document would be their Schedule F, and then if they have employees on the payroll, any payroll information they might have as far as W-3s, W-2s, and so on.
Okay.
So different businesses require different types of verification.
Okay. So then is this federal money that's being funneled through the banking industry? Is that how this is working, or where is this money coming from?
Correct. It is federal funds. It's administered through the Small Business Administration, and then banks are loaning those funds, providing that we make and service that loan in accordance with the SBA rules. The bank will at some point be returned our investment from the federal government, of course.
Okay. And then Dakota, you've said you've worked with several of these loans too. What is the interest rate on these loans, and how do these loans end up benefiting the small business owner?
Yeah, so the way the SBA is administered is, so it's 1% is what it is for over the next 24 months. First payment not being for the first 6 months. But the thing is, the way the money is supposed to be allocated is to continue to employ employees. So it's the Paycheck Protection Program. So the thing is, the whole idea of it is so small businesses can keep people employed. So if you use those funds and those resources, and you allocate them for your payroll, the Treasury is supposed to be wiped clean. And so it's supposed to be forgiven in that amount of time. But yeah, it helps small businesses in several aspects. I mean, if someone has drawn a salary out of their own business, if they're paying employees, the whole idea of it is to make sure that through this hard time, employers can keep on paying their employees. So it's a big deal. I mean, it's been a tremendous blessing to a lot of businesses for sure.
So you mentioned, Dakota, that the actual employee paycheck part is going to be forgiven, so they won't have to pay that back, or can we break that down a little bit?
Yeah, so the idea is if you use it for payroll, the loan is to be forgiven from, the government is supposed to forgive the loan, pay the loan for you. So in essence, I hate, I hate, Bill probably has talked about this with his customers too. I hate saying the word free, like free money, because it's, nothing in the world is free, and especially when it's the government. Somehow, these are going to have to be paid for some way, somehow, So, I mean, but in essence, if it's used accordingly, the way the SBA administered it, yeah, it should be forgiven.
Okay. So Bill, what do you say to customers when you explain that forgiveness part of the loan? Thank you, Dakota.
Well, Dakota did a nice job of explaining it. Basically, the program's intended to keep people off of unemployment. So keep them working, keep their employers paying them rather than the taxpayers. And a unique concept, but it is certainly helpful for our small businesses and farmers as well. Um, so the key is keep your people working or on the payroll at least. And at the end of an 8-week period following when we close the loan, provide those records indicating that you used the funds for the intended purpose, which was payroll or utilities or rent or mortgage interest. And at that point, we determine if we can get a majority or all of the debt forgiven.
Okay. Bill, how long have you been in the banking industry?
I've been in the lending industry for 39 years. I've been with First Bank Kansas for a little over 5 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
And my understanding is that you used to be with the FSA office, but I can't think of what that is, what that stands for right now. Farming.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, I worked 32 years with the USDA, the Farm Service Agency,
Thank you.
in the agricultural lending sector.
And have you ever seen anything like this before?
I don't think any of us have seen anything like this.
So as you're seeing the responses in the lending industry, are you feeling confident that these are the steps that need to be taken to ensure some financial health across the economy? I guess. I mean, it seems like you've had lots of experience to kind of see what solutions have been put in place in the past.
The,
Do you
the
think
gray,
this will work?
yeah, the gray beard. I have no idea what the long-term ramifications will be. I do know that we are helping a lot of people through some challenging times. We are keeping people employed. We've had daycare centers, for example, who they're closed, but they're keeping employees on the payroll because of this Paycheck Protection Program. And, similar cases throughout industry, no matter, it's a wide ranging, helpful program for most industries. So, yeah, the long-term ramifications, I'm not sure economically, but certainly we're helping the local companies, local businesses, and the local people, our customers.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bill. I kind of sprung those questions on you, so I appreciate you answering them. I do want to share about Frisbee Construction, another small business in the southeast region of Saline County. And Frisbee Construction started with George Frisbee in 1949. His goal was to build quality projects at a fair price to his customers. And George's family still runs Frisbee Construction with the same motto. And Frisbee Construction wants to thank all of their customers for allowing them to work with you. So kind of piggybacking on the questions, looking back, what has happened, moving forward, are there any predictions in the industry as to what this is going to look like in a year, how we're going to recover from this as the economy opens back up? Dakota, I'll let you take the lead on that. And what do you predict our financial standing will be locally when the economy opens back up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, along the same lines of what Bill says. It's kind of hard to predict, just because everything, like he said, it's a new thing. Bill's been doing this a whole lot longer than I have, and so I defer to some of these guys who've been pounding the pavement for decades. So it's hard to tell. I do know if the economy is shut down for the most part, the longer we go, it's probably not going to be good. Just but I'm hoping and I have faith that everything's going to get back to normal. And the whole thing with this stimulus package and this PP program, the concept I think is a good concept. Keep people working, keep people employed. And I think that model, I hope shows success. But Lord willing, we come out of this soon, and if we do, we just get back to work like Americans are known for doing, and pound the pavement and get back to where we were, you know.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your perspective, Dakota. Bill, what do you think?
Well, I think Dakota's wise beyond his years. Um, I'm also not I'm not going to make any great predictions. You know, I think I'm hopeful that we'll come out of this with some market and improved trade. Trade will open back up, and our commodity and livestock prices will improve. Um, and I'm hopeful that we'll crank things back up and be up and running within a few months after we stop the economic slowdown that we've been experiencing. But that's hope, and I know that our community banks and I feel fortunate to be in central Kansas where we have great customers to work with, and I know they'll do their part, and we'll certainly do our part to help get this thing back on track.
Okay, thank you, Bill. So, speaking of the stimulus check, I understand that that is coming through some people's bank accounts, but I also have had some conversations with people that the banks are actually not in control of that stimulus check, but there might be some confusion out there. Have you had any customers ask you about their stimulus check and how that's happening? Bill, do you know anything about that?
Well, there's some confusion because there's so many various sources of stimulus funds out there right now. We talked about the Paycheck Protection Program that banks are administering. There's also an EIDL program that individuals apply for directly through SBA. And I understand there's some delayed response in that program. And then there's also the funds being sent electronically or by mail from the IRS. And so there's so many different avenues of assistance, it's hard to keep straight who's doing what anymore.
Okay, but you kind of gave some clarity there that banks are working on the PPP program, and then there's also another program directly through the SBA, and then the IRS is kind of at least the machine that is bringing these stimulus checks to individual families.
Correct, and we've seen some of those funds hitting accounts directly from IRS. So those are coming out, and I know there's been talk on the news here lately that the FSA is going to be administering some disaster program funding for farmers as well. So that's another source of assistance.
Okay. And do you find that folks are coming to you for counsel in some of this financial assistance?
Yes, we are keeping the phone lines and email busy. We try to respond to people the same day as we're contacted, but it's some long days here lately.
Okay. That I want to ask Dakota that same question then. Dakota, what does your communication look like in regards to when people just come to you for counsel in regards to all of these different finance programs? Are you emailing? Do you have any kind of guarantee as to when you can get back with people? How do you handle all the communication?
Yeah, so it is definitely, I mean, as most all my customers got my cell phone number. So, as you can tell, my cell phone has been kind of blowing up as of late with texts, phone calls, at all hours of the day and evening. So, which is great, you know what I mean? But yeah, when we get information, we divulge it, you know what I mean? And if not, I just try to keep everybody updated as best I can through the process, because it is, this whole thing has been in its genesis, we're all kind of learning, and it's kind of a day by day deal, new information I feel leaks every single day. things change every day. You know, so yeah, I mean, I've been just trying to communicate that to you know, everybody that you know, I'm working with. So
Okay, thank you, Dakota. So last, I want to share about McKim's service that is owned by Rob and Alicia McKim. The service technicians include Rob McKim and Vernon Cathy. The McKims purchased the mechanic shop in downtown Gypsum in 2015, and with the help of the late Vern Meyer, Sean Corbett, and Marshall Coleman, have remodeled the entire building to house 4 lifts for mechanical work on all makes and models of vehicles. McKim's service is a major repair shop as far as major mechanical and electrical repair. He and Vernon work on transmission repair, heating and cooling issues, brakes and suspensions, and any electrical repair. So coming back to finance, I guess, you know, as an individual, what I want to know, and I wonder if other people want to know, is how do I stay the course and come out of this financially healthy in the end? And so I guess I just assume, and maybe I shouldn't, that not only are you communicating with your customers, but you've got people who are also communicating with you about, you know, what the trends are and what the programs are. And so what are people saying? What do we need to do as Americans to stay financially healthy? And Dakota, I'll let you start, and then we'll see what Bill is thinking along those lines too.
yeah, no, I mean, I think the first thing is, you know, don't max out credit cards to go buy toilet paper, right? You know, I don't think that's a smart, you know, I don't think that's a smart proposition, you know, but I think just, you know, staying true to, you know, your budget. You know, a lot of people at the very beginning of this, you know, bought, you know, stockpiles of stuff in fear, you know, and, you know, I don't believe there's nothing wrong with, you know, stockpiling and stuff, but at the same time, you know, if you do that to the detriment of your budget or income or whatnot, I mean, it could pose a problem or whatnot. But yeah, you know, I definitely, you know, there's a lot of people who maxed out credit cards buying toilet paper. And, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how smart that is. But no, I would defer to Bill to, you know, any kind of, you know, counseling any further than that, you know. But budgeting though, that's my biggest thing. You know what I mean? I mean, everyone knows who Dave Ramsey is. You know, I think he has a great model for a budgeting plan, and I think, you know, a lot of people have been successful using it. And, you know, I wouldn't, if you have a budget, I'd keep on doing it. You know.
Okay, thank you, Dakota. Bill, what do you think? What can people do to keep themselves financially healthy?
Well, I think good financial and business practices are good in good times and in bad. So, you know, I think just remain budget conscious, know your business, know your family budget, keep non-essential expenses to a minimum, and manage your debt. If you're struggling with your debt payments or fiscally struggling to meet your obligations, sit down with a trusted group of consultants, your banker, your accountant, your, you know, don't stick your head in the sand and ignore it. Go talk to your advisors, and figure out a plan, whether that means additional sources of income, cutting expenses, selling some non-essential assets, looking at possibly FSA loan programs, low interest loans there, whatever the solutions are. But it's probably all encompassing as far as the family budget as well as the business budget. So that's not a very detailed response, but it's.
But I like that you know, relate that if we as individuals or businesses are, you know, trying to do our best being financially healthy when we're not in crisis, it's those same strategies that you apply when in crisis. And so I like that they're, you know, it doesn't have to be different. And then I also appreciate that Dakota shared Dave Ramsey, and I'm not sure what other financial gurus are out there, but there are people who have some strategies in place, as well as local advisors like yourself, folks at the FSA office. I was even thinking the credit counseling services out of Salina for individuals that really do want to help people because they understand that the stress that comes from the having financial challenges. So I appreciate both of you in that answer. Well, before we wrap up, I do want to share that there is an event in the Southeast region of Saline County coming up on May 10th. That is the Class of 2020 Graduate Parade. It is coordinated by the Assyria Pride Organization and the Gypsum Valley Booster Club. There is a Facebook page called 2020 Southeast of Saline Graduate Community Parade. The community groups are asking folks to sign up if they want to be on the parade route so that we can create a map. And then the links to sign up are in the discussion thread of the event on Facebook. And there are also signups at each city's post office. If you have any questions, folks can write those in the discussion thread of the event as well. So ending today, is there anything that I didn't cover? Anything that you would expect we should talk about? Any final thoughts in regards to finances in response to COVID-19? No, we did a good job, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you both. Bill?
Well, thank you for having us on here, Leslie. And I guess my final remark would just be stay close with your banker and the folks you trust in your circle, and don't try to handle all the world's problems on your own.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you again, Leslie, for having us, having me, and Bill, it's nice to meet you, man. I hope maybe we can get together sometime. So it was nice to meet you today.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dakota. And thanks, Leslie.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for watching. Those of you who are watching on Facebook, watching Face to Face with the Spotlight, and I ask you to tune in next week for another episode at 5 on Friday.